I suddenly have no energy, dude.
I get that a lot. It's called life because we're old. Well, I'm going to take an old man nap now.
Saw a video. I forget who it was, but they made the joke. Some franchises turning 50. So just like a person turning 50, it's old and ragged or something like that. I'm like, hey.
Well, it's accurate. I'm tired all the time, dude. I got tired mowing the lawn yesterday. I was like, man, I'm going to take a nap.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, Monk. He's Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, how the hell you doing, my friend?
I'm same as always. How are you? I'm
mostly okay. I've spent the day worried, not real worried, but like parent worried, and I hate that I just used the word parent worried.
Why? Why are you parent worried?
My kitty cat.
Oh, she okay?
Oh yeah. She had a vet appointment 2 days ago. It was just her annual checkup, and when I first got her and we took her to the vet, they never told me that she had to have her immunizations on what schedule they need to be on, and she had fallen behind, so she had to get a bunch of immunizations.
Oh,
and she has just been lethargic for the entire day, and it reminds me of watching my youngest son and my middle grandchild, because those two, when they get sick, it's one of the saddest things you'll ever see. It's not like, hey, the oldest is sick, yay, no. But those are they're so lively all the rest of the time that it's actually kind of depressing when they're not that way. And that's how it was with Phoebe. Phoebe is just, she never walks up the stairs. This cat runs the whole way. She was dragging herself up the stairs like I do.
Wow, that is bad.
She's just like, Dad, I can't take it anymore. But yeah, so she's been out of it a little bit, and it's just weird to watch. It's unsettling. It's unsettling. Mayo Kitty darts. What the Dartis? Oh, Mayo Kitty. I see what you did there. No, she got her rabies and two others. I forget what they are. She's got to go back for another booster here in a couple of weeks. Which, another little story for you, Jack. After dinner yesterday, Lady Monkey goes, "You want a haircut?" I'm like, "Yeah, I need a haircut," because I was getting to that point where I either needed a haircut or to get some rubber bands and just start wearing a ponytail.
Oh yeah, you could make pigtails.
And so she gives me a haircut, and she goes, "There, when we go back to the vet, it won't look like you're homeless." And I was like, "Oh, damn." Because she was right. I did look kind of homeless. But yeah, everything checked out with Miss Phoebe. She hasn't gained any weight, which is shocking to me because she's lazy as shit and likes to eat. But doctor said she's perfectly healthy.
Oh,
so yeah, except for now she's lethargic. She does keep pulling her hair out, and there's no seeming reason, and they've checked everything. So like, yeah, sometimes cats just do that. Like, okay. You know how weird it looks when a long-haired cat will pull out their hair all the way down to the skin?
Yeah, it's pretty odd.
It is. And she doesn't pull it out. She bites it off. She just, yeah, so it looks like she got a buzz cut. It kind of looks like they were shaving her down for surgery, but now it's healing and the hair's coming back.
Wow.
Phoebe plots vengeance. She's an interesting kitty. Anyway, enough about my kitty cat. Jack, we're here to talk about Trump's first 100 days again.
Part 2.
Part 2. They don't do this if a president gets consecutive terms, right? Like nobody was like the first 100 days of Obama's second term, because nobody cares.
Yeah, that's true.
But now, because there was a gap year, they're like, well, the first 100 days again. And in fairness, this time, I do think he's done a lot more in his first 100 days than he did in his first 100 days. His second first 100 days is better than his first 100 days. God, what a weird sentence to say out loud.
Yeah, that's a tough one there.
And I mean, but just between us, Jack, how do you think Trump's been doing?
I'd give him a B. A
That's
for
fair.
effort, B for execution. It's been a few missteps, but nothing that is like absolutely catastrophic.
Faithless says, I don't remember them saying jack shit about Biden's 100. You have to remember Biden's first 100 comes when we're still in the height of COVID. So it didn't get as much attention, and Biden hadn't really done much in his first 100 except screw us over, and they were busy making excuses for why the border was flooded. So the press had other things on their mind. But there were a few stories about it. We might have even covered one or two of them, but it wasn't the way that they're talking about it with Trump. I saw a Hill article today that told me that the first 100 days has been an absolute disaster. You want to guess why, Jack?
Why?
Environmentalism. The former the guy who wrote it was in either Biden or Obama's administration. I forget which one, but in the energy department. So what's really bad? Trump is global warming, you guys. Global fucking Trump and global warming. Yeah, that's how horrible it is. I've noticed that none of the major news networks, maybe Fox, I don't watch them much, but none of them are out there talking about all the accomplishments that he's done. He's got a lot accomplished. The border, Jack, is so secure now that the border agents are bored. We're down to such small amounts of. Do you remember when they told us, Jack, what we needed at the border was thousands of more agents down there? That's why we needed that bill that Trump killed. It was going to get us thousands of more. You know when you don't need thousands of more agents? When there's not a whole bunch of shitheads trying to come across the border.
Oh,
thinking that they're going to get a free ride on our dime. It's almost, Jack, it's almost like not giving them incentives keeps them from coming here. Weird, huh? And how much has it helped immigration, Jack? Illegal immigration, stopping illegal immigration. That illegals are worried they might end up in an El Salvadorian prison.
Well, I mean, that does kind of disincentivize people from committing crime, right?
If you were a Mexican, right, and you're thinking about coming to America illegally, and you got tattoos, are you going to do it right now?
Probably not. Better safe than sorry kind of situation, you know. You got to wonder, like, how well trained are those guys at spotting gang tattoos versus just crappy prison tats?
Right.
So, I don't want to push my luck.
My ass would be like, nah, I'm all right eating dirt. I'm okay.
Yeah, I mean, being alive eating sand is better than being dead, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, he's done that. He's shaken things up. He's cut worthless spending, gutted USAID. He's in the process of killing the education department, which you guys can look it up. I've been on this for decades. Yeah, my first rant on the internet about the Department of Education is probably close to 30 years old at this point, because it is a waste of money and intelligence.
Yeah.
So I think he's doing pretty good. Yeah, you're right. Some missteps.
Whenever you think things are darkest, there's always a light down there. And that light right now is Trump.
Yeah, and for all of their talk of chaos, oh my God, the stock market crashed. It actually didn't. It dropped, what, like 5% or something like that. And since then, it's recovered half of that back already.
Oh, yeah. It bounced back real fast. It's the stock market. People panic and sell off, and then everybody else is like, I'm buying now because shit's cheap, and it bounces back.
Yeah.
Yeah, people focus a little too much on the stock market.
We're going to talk about tariffs in a little bit when we watch a video from Gavin Newsom. But before we get to that, I wanted to look at this article about how the media has been covering it. Now, I will preface this. This is Fox News, but it's because they're the only people who are covering this story. This comes from a media watchdog kind of group, Jack. They've been around for a long time. I think it's a Media Research Center. But ABC, NBC, CBS slapped Trump with 92% negative coverage as 100th day of second term approaches, study finds. So in his first 100 days so far, Jack, in their prime time, or their prime time slot? Prime time for news, like 6 to 7-ish time. They've covered 1,900 stories about Trump on these 3 channels, 92% of which were negative. 92% negative. It wasn't this bad in 2017. It was still close, but it wasn't this high. You know what Biden's negative rating was in his first 100 days? Doing the same exact calculations? 43%. 57% of the stories about Biden on these 3 channels in these time zone or time slots, 57% was positive coverage.
Of course it was.
For Joseph fucking Biden.
Biden, Bernie, from Weekend at Bernie's, whatever. You know, they don't care. It's not about it, it's about their team. It doesn't matter that it's Joe Zombie. Real fast though, thank you, Keldrick. Leftists promised that the economy would collapse and that everything would be horrifically expensive under Trump. But my grocery prices are going down and the economy seems to be gradually improving. I feel ripped off. I was ready for the apocalypse. Yeah, dude, I bought some emergency food containers and a solar charger, so because generators you can't keep inside, and somebody will steal it during the apocalypse.
True.
So it is what it is. But I have seen my grocery prices kind of leveling off at least, so it's a little more predictable. They haven't been, and egg prices have come down a little bit in my area, but yeah, they were really overselling that stuff.
Saw a story. It was sent to me, and actually ended up having a little argument over it. The people who are producing shale are telling people not to buy shale right now, not to start new shale wells and that kind of shit, because the price of oil is so low right now, Jack. These guys can't make money on it.
Oh yeah, that's a good thing, though, for consumers, because gas prices and plastics and everything made with oil is going to go down in price then, theoretically. Yep.
And they can get their profits back a little bit, but yeah, it's going to cause some slowdown to happen with them. But it's not going to affect us the same way that, just saying, hey, no new drilling does. Or, bending over and letting OPEC fuck us in the ass. Which is what we did under Biden. Remember when Biden had to go beg OPEC to increase oil production? And they told him to get fucked?
Yeah, that was embarrassing. He canceled all the stuff here that would have kept us energy independent, and they had to go begging to the Saudis.
Yep. Thank you. I gotta wait for it to load back up here. That's how bad my memory is. I saw the name of who this was from, and then it completely sorry about that. Circus Zero, thank you so much. Your cat and shoe on head, something in common. LOL. Oh, fuck, bruh.
Oh man,
bruh.
Sick burn, good one,
bruh. A lot of these stories here from ABC and them are, of course, about tariffs, Jack. And oh my God, it's the tariffs. The tariffs. Can anybody point to something you're buying right now that the tariffs have hit?
No. Not unless you're buying off like Temu or something. Because did you see they added a tariff charge on there?
No, but good.
Yeah, Temu and Alibaba have added a fee on there for the tariffs, and now their prices are basically Amazon prices.
Well, yeah, that's what happens when you have to play in the same playing field. Yeah. And that is a good segue, Jack, into this video from Mr. Gavin Newsom.
You say segue, but I still don't have a segue.
I do kind of want to ride one.
They are really scary in a way because until you get used to it, you think you're gonna fall off because you got to lean forward in it, and it's very counterintuitive. I hated it. It was like an electronic skateboard.
All right, here's our scary video from Gavin Newsom, who's trying desperately to be the new Joe Rogan for the left.
$20,000, maybe $30,000 worth of tariffs. That's what I budgeted for. Now is going to cost me $230,000 to bring into our country.
Let me call you a wambulance.
Keep in mind that she says she budgeted for $20K.
When Trump was elected, he talked about these tariffs, but did this come as a complete shock, how quickly this happened?
Yeah, prior to this.
Yup. He said he was going to do this, and I thought, nah.
He's been talking about tariffs since the 80s.
Yeah.
Does nobody know history? Like, before we had the progressive income tax under Roosevelt, or Wilson, rather, in 1913 when they formed the hideous Federal Reserve. Before that, the government raised money through tariffs.
Yes.
They understand that, right? That's how the government used to be funded.
There was some taxation that was done, but it couldn't be permanent. That comes with the 16th Amendment.
Yeah, it was all like temporary taxation for like war effort or disasters and shit like that.
The majority of it was funded through tariffs. We spent more time as a country without a recurring income tax than we have with it.
Yeah, and I want everybody to remember, we did reciprocal tariffs. Most of the countries that we hit with tariffs had a tariff on us already.
Yes.
Including the Canadians, which had on automotive and steel and a couple other things. China on damn near everything. And then we did reciprocal tariffs, which made them react by doing more tariffs. This is a response to tariffs that were on us, keeping our stuff from going to market.
Yes. But no. See, China, they're a bigger consumer than the U.S. is now.
That may be, but tariffing us is going to backfire on them if we keep this up.
Saying it like that is meaningless. Now, if you said they're a bigger consumer of U.S. products, that would be important.
Yeah.
Just saying that there's more of them and they're spending more. Again, do it by GDP. Let me see or by population. Let me see what the spending looks like. They have 3 times as many people as us, Jack. They should be a bigger economy than us.
They should be, but they're still communists, and they're oppressing their own people. And outside of the major cities, people live in abject poverty. And it's still noticeable that they are largely a third world country, whether they want to hide it or not.
Yep.
And real quick. Thank you, Evolved Potato. Segways are actually very on topic, since the company that made Segways was bought by a Chinese company that ripped off the Segway brand. The money they used to buy it was from selling the knockoffs. Yeah, that sounds right. That's the other thing. China just steals all the research and development from other people and then creates knockoff versions.
Yep.
Because there's no real punishment for that.
And it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah. See, what they'll do is put a tariff on one of our products, steal the intellectual property for it, and then make knockoffs that they can sell domestically. And then sell overseas as well.
Keldrick, thank you. The left's answer to Joe Rogan, Gruesome Newsom, or alternatively, Joe Rogaine. I like the Joe Rogaine one. A billion makes more consumers? Wow, I know, right? But this has become a talking point against tariffs. Like, actually, they have more consumer money than we do. Yeah, do it per person and tell me about it. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a really flawed argument.
Well, I'm trying to remember the numbers correctly, so they're probably off a little bit, but the Chinese GDP is something like 32 trillion and ours is like 24 trillion or something like that. So they have about a third more spending power than we do. And we're a third of their size. That's not math you should be bragging about.
I wouldn't brag about that. That's pretty horrific, actually.
Yeah, they should be 3 times our size.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to this chickie poo, because fuck.
Administration, we didn't pay a tariff ever. 8 years ago, right after my son was born, I had an idea for a baby product that solves.
Can I just say this looks like a choking hazard to me?
Yeah, is that a baby murdering thing? Because busy baby, is it for like an abortion on the go?
Apparently, and she's going to explain this in a second, somehow it keeps babies from dropping stuff. Looking at it, I don't understand how, but she's apparently on Shark Tank here.
Oh, wait, maybe it's like the string goes around them, around their back, and it's like a washboard for your tum-tum?
I guess. I'm just wondering why this piece of plastic with a couple of strings in it couldn't be made in America.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can 3D print that. Like, buy a big spool of string and some 3D printer filament. Yeah, that's in massive overhead. I don't watch Shark Tank very often.
That's what Divine just said in chat. I didn't see her on there. I just recognized the set.
Yeah, it's either that or she's on Springer, and he died a while back.
They actually show some of the hosts here in a second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, she had an idea.
I had an idea for a baby product that solves a problem all new parents have of babies just dropping and throwing all their stuff.
Oh, I see. It goes on the table, and the strings hold the binkies and stuff. Gosh,
you know you could do? Pick it up.
Yeah, or just tie a string onto the actual seat thing there.
They make these things for pacifiers where you hook it to the pacifier and then it's got a little a jaw clip kind of thing. You hook it right to the baby's clothes and then it doesn't drop.
Oh, so it's like one of those things kids put on the zippers of their coats, one of the little dangler things.
Kind of like that, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure this is not that innovative.
We've never paid a tariff for baby items. I have maybe 2 months worth of inventory left in my warehouse here. And when that is gone, I have no more revenue.
That sounds like your poor planning, not my problem.
Have you considered an $80,000 machine to do it in-house?
Just put it all on your credit card. That's what the quartering did.
Dangerous. Thank you. Thank you, Dangerous. The media is not biased. We have to tell the truth that Joe Biden was the most mentally sharp president ever, and Trump has been possessed by the ghost of Adolf Hitler. Why don't you take us seriously? Right? No shit.
Yeah. Actually, if they came out and said that he was possessed by the ghost of Hitler, I would take that more seriously than what they normally report.
True.
Because it's more believable than 90% of the crap they spew.
Furry says sounds like a you problem, and Keister says that's a skill issue, ma'am. Yeah.
That's a logistics issue.
Yeah. One, I do not understand how she budgeted for $20,000 in tariffs and somehow it ballooned to $230,000.
Well, okay, I'll grant the possibility that that's plausible, although I'm not buying it.
No.
But when she first heard that Trump wanted to institute tariffs, the safe bet would have been to increase your inventory before they kicked in.
Sure.
Especially because he gave a deadline for when they were going to kick in. Even though he did an extension later, you knew that it was April 2nd that was going to kick in. You have no reason not to have prepared for this eventuality as a business.
Why are you buying such a simple product overseas? I don't understand, other than, American labor being expensive. That thing that she developed looks like it cost 10 cents to make.
Seriously, I think if you had a large enough order, it would cost you a negligible difference. Yeah, American labor is more expensive, but I bet you there's a 3D printing outfit that could have done that.
I have no money coming in to pay my employees.
That's the part that made me go, what did you just say?
You have employees?
You should get cheap shit from overseas so you can pay your employees. What about the American companies who could pay employees if you bought from them, bitch?
Yeah. Maybe, and this is a crazy idea. You figure out how to mold the plastic and do it in-house, like the quartering, but not as stupid. Like I bet there's a way you could get some kind of mold injection or plastic machine, and you just need a mold basically, and then fill the molds with plastic and start dumping them out. It doesn't seem like that's a complicated piece of equipment.
No, this is not a complicated thing. It is a squarish, a rounded square, but a squarish piece of plastic with a couple of strings in it.
Yeah, that seems like something you should be able to make here in the States with like unskilled labor. Like I'm not talking $20 an hour factory workers here. I'm talking like minimum wage.
I feel like you should be able to go to the dump and just cut stuff into that shape.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's got to be a much easier way. I'm sure somebody that's worked with plastics could explain this to me, but I have no doubt even a low-end plastic shop should be able to put this together.
Oh, yeah.
And you could hire like some college kids for slightly over minimum wage and pump that shit out en masse. It should not take very long.
Dark Resurrect, thank you for that feminist $12 and the insightful comment. Know what would have prevented this? Not relying on Chinese slave labor. Indeed. 100%.
Frost said, "Hi, I'm the quartering, and this is Binky Brand Binky." Oh man, are we giving quartering ideas for new product? All the pictures of him are all the pictures on the binky are of Jeremy with a little bonnet and a binky.
Yes. I'm having trouble believing that she's going to pay $230,000 in tariffs when they are manually putting shipping labels on their stuff.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. Unless they were doing the distribution too, which is, from what it sounds like, they pictured her in a warehouse. She has her own distribution system. So I'm just not buying this. This is silly. Thank you, ex-Bubba Hotep. Sorry for the tangent, but have you guys seen the whole Angry Cop versus Buffalo School?
I still haven't watched it, but I will.
I started watching some of it. It does look very interesting.
I didn't realize who that was when that was brought up the other day. I know of Angry Cop. I've watched a lot of his stuff in the past. I haven't watched him in probably over a year. But I used to watch his videos. He's a funny guy. I'm told that video though is not funny at all.
Yeah, it sounds like it's actually pretty serious.
Yeah, which it's a serious topic.
I have been following the Karen Reed trial, the second trial, I should say. And oh my God, what a fucking mess. They totally framed that chick.
See, I disagree. I think it was handled poorly, but I think she murdered her husband.
You'll have to explain to me how when she was at home and he's supposed to be dead on the lawn, he moved at a crawl pace 100 meters then.
Well, he wasn't necessarily dead yet. He was severely injured.
Well, the 100 meters is the distance from the house to where he was found, and that's the speed of a dragged body. So unless he went up a flight of stairs out into the snow, and everybody covered up the fact that he was even in the house, I don't know. I have a lot of problems. They've caught the cops in a lot of lies because there's a lot of police officers involved in this, and they all know each other, even though they denied it in the first trial. And one of the cops even got fired because of his lies at the first trial.
Lying. There's a lot of reasons people lie.
Well, he did disclose the fact that his sister is best friends with one of the Albert's daughters, which is the house that this guy died at. He didn't disclose that he knew them and went to school with a few of them. And
I hear you. And my problem though is the text and stuff that him and her were exchanging that day. the coincidence of him being murdered by those police on that same day is a bit much for me to get past.
I don't know. I don't think she killed him. They lied about the tail light being broken because it had a crack in it, but it wasn't broken. And they've said under oath 3 times now that it was missing pieces. But one of the cops that was at the impound lot that's not part of the Canton Police Department said that it was just cracked and it broke when Proctor took the tail light off. And they're trying to say that there was scratches on the victim's arm from where that taillight broke off into his arm. Well, if the taillight wasn't broken, how could that have happened?
You have one guy who says it wasn't and all the others who say it was.
But the lead investigator who broke it in his hand, allegedly, is also the guy they fired for lying in this case.
Yeah, I still think I hear you. I've been following this since the first trial. There's several people that I follow on Twitter just because they're really into this trial.
Mm-hmm.
And I just follow everything. There's a lot of dirty shit. There's a lot of dirty politics in that town.
Oh,
That sounds like the Hatfields and McCoys made a town together.
Oh, I think it's probably worse than that even. But these Alberts are very, very powerful people in the town, and they're like almost like boss hog types. So they have a lot of influence, and a lot of these police officers that worked on this case know the Alberts, and there's a lot of incestuous connections here. They've caught a couple people in some questionable statements that are different than what they said previously. So I don't know. I'm not convinced that she did it.
One of the things that they made a big deal about is one of the prosecution witnesses admitted that she didn't overhear a conversation, which, yeah, that sounds damning, except for we know the conversation did actually happen. So it's a smoking gun with no bullet. It's like a cap gun.
Well, the Carrie Roberts' testimony, she made a statement that that was never brought up. She talked about an internet search. That wasn't brought up because they already established that conversation happened later. But then she went on to say that when they were reviewing her testimony, that's what they were going to say, was that it happened at this other time, which would have implicated Karen. So she's lying about the fact that it never happened because she wasn't there to have heard that conversation. So unless she was colluding with McCabe, that conversation could have been known by her because it happened later on somewhere else.
I think it makes much more sense for a woman to kill her husband knowing that the town is corrupt and she could get away with it using that than them knowing that they could frame her for text they hadn't seen.
I don't know. There might be some other reason too, because I mean, you're talking about a police department that's been alleged to have been corrupt for some time. And what if he was going to blow the whistle to the feds on them? I mean, there's a lot going on here. I'm not convinced she did it by any stretch. It looks like collusion over collision, as the DUI guy said.
I'm sorry, I just saw the comment over on Rumble, and I thought it was regarding this case. No, we're still talking about the video. Yeah, the whole Karen Reed thing, we can get into another time.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
We could do a whole Carrie show one day. Wow, what a great conversation about what the fuck are we talking about?
It doesn't have to make sense, Dangerous. We know what we're talking about, kind of.
A cop found dead in the lawn of a party he had been at with his disgruntled girlfriend. One story says she backed into him and left him there, and the other story says no, the cops murdered him and threw him in the yard to frame her. There's issues with both sides of the timeline, and as Jack pointed out, that the cops were not forthcoming as they should be.
Yeah, and the head investigator didn't secure any of the phones from anybody else there except Karen, and he was looking for nudes on her phone, which is kind of weird. So yeah, there's a lot of questions like why didn't the snowplow guy see the body? You know, I have a lot of questions here. I think Bigfoot did it, but nobody listens to me.
No, I think that bitch watched Snapped, and I don't think she was meaning to kill him. I just think she didn't care when she did.
We'll find out, I think. But
now this is one of those that'll, no matter what happens in the trial, it's not going to be solved unless there's some Perry Mason Matlock moment where they break out an actual smoking gun. This is just going to be one of those that people debate forever. What does she look like? She's not bad looking, and she's skinny enough that Jack wouldn't throw up at her.
No, I mean, she's old though, and she's got like MS, so she'll shake a lot on your wiener.
That's just an added bonus.
Yeah, it's like everything's a Hummer when it comes. It's like Michael J. Fox giving you a handy.
Monk did it. He took a nap and bam. Yes, that's probably what actually happened.
Was there any semen on the body? I don't think so.
I hope not. By the way, that was the end of that other thing, so we're just moving along from there.
That bitch's poor planning is not Trump's fault. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just tired of people like, the tariffs are costing me so much. What would it cost you if you did buy American? And there's some things like, Jack, semiconductors, we just don't have enough production capability in the U.S.
Yeah, but there's even NVIDIA's going to build a plant here. Awesome. Cool.
An 11x8 piece of plastic, that could be done here. Mold injecting is a thing. It's been a thing for decades.
Right? It would probably be better quality, too, and less toxic. But look, I don't understand what this lady's problem is. She has more than enough time to plan ahead, order extra product, and then to start looking for a domestic producer.
Before we got off track on the other things, the next line she was going to tell us is that she has no money.
Well, whose fault is that? Did she burn through all her capital, or her profit margin's bad? Why is she not having any money currently? Because she said she's only got 2 months worth of product. Again, poor planning on her part, but why is she that razor thin on her margins?
I doubt she's that razor thin on her margins, and it's more like she spent every dime she got.
Yeah, that's not good either.
Yeah. She's paying people to put all of this stuff, do all the packaging in-house. Welcome to drop shipping. It's not the best idea, dumbass. It worked for you guys for a while. It's going to be tough for a little bit. Don't worry. Tariffs will come down and you'll be able to go back to ripping off people for shitty Chinese products that should have been made here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Honestly, I don't think the Chinese will do this for very long because they can't afford to. They need people buying their crappy products.
Our next story, though, Jack, I blame you for.
Oh, nice. I'll take it. Whatever.
The other night after the show, me and Jack were talking about how we brought up some old names lately. And Jack said, maybe we should check in on Hunter Avalone. You son of a bitch. And then he pops up in my timeline.
I totally jinxed it. I'm sorry. I was like, I bet he was hiding behind his girlfriend on the balcony again.
Oh, God, man. So this revolves around the world champion of U.S. football.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Trump.
Going to the White House, the Eagles going to the White House to meet with Trump. And there were 12 members of the Eagles who didn't go. Now, the last time that the White House invited them when Trump was president, the entire team refused to go, so the White House rescinded the order. This time, only 12 people didn't go, and one of them was Jalen Hurts, who's the quarterback of the team, Jack.
Okay.
And Jalen said he didn't go because of a scheduling conflict.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
I mean,
and even if it was political for him saying that is him keeping it from being political.
Yeah, it's a smart move.
Yeah.
And it's a plausible thing. Like, he might actually have like a commercial to shoot or something like that was planned way in advance. And these things at the White House, sometimes they're kind of last minute, you know?
Yeah, I think it's been on the docket, if I remember the one story correctly, for like 2 months. But again, you might have things to do. And frankly, I don't care. I really don't. He didn't make it a political thing, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, maybe his girlfriend wanted to like go somewhere, or it's her birthday or some shit. Who fucking knows? There's a dozen reasons that people bow out of these things. It's not like you're required to go.
This guy Xander Kraus writes this ridiculously long post saying Jalen Hurts, well, this was bad leadership because you should go. It's a football game, dude.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about. Celebrating a football game. Relax.
Yeah, I don't really, as a non-sports person, I could have cared less about this event entirely.
Sure.
So is it bad leadership? Not really. I mean, the coach decided to like poop on the lawn of the White House and protest. That would be bad leadership. But this is the guy says he's got something else going on. I personally would just go meet with the president because he's still the leader of the free world, and it's a rare opportunity for your average person. But if you don't want to go or you got something going on, whatever, who cares?
I just want to be perfectly honest about this. I would go because I want to go to the White House and try to steal something.
Now you're never going to the White House.
I just want to, just something small like a pen or an ashtray. They don't have ashtrays there anymore. Just some little memento that they wouldn't even notice was missing, like a fork from the dining area. I want to steal one.
I bet if you asked nice, Trump would probably give you a pen that he signed something with.
There's no fun in being given something from. Ebony asked why. Why, Ebony? I'm just gonna blanket this one. Why does Monkey do anything?
Because Monkey wants to.
Because I think it's funny. That's why.
You're gonna walk out of there with like a roll of toilet paper.
If Hunter can get crack into the White House, I should be able to get at least a chair out.
Chair? Wow, you go big or go home.
Yeah.
Also, it was cocaine. Thank you.
I do wonder what would happen if, like, you just picked up a chair and started walking out of the White House with it. They'd be like, hey, give that back.
Sir, I don't think you're authorized to do. Is he allowed to do that?
I mean, technically, it belongs to me.
Yeah, you are a taxpayer. Be like, look, this is my taxes, right?
It's my shit.
I'm taking it back.
But anyway, so Kraus writes this thing, says, today was a terrible showing of leadership from Jalen Hurts. By the way, I don't know this Xander Kraus guy. He says
he's got a supervillain name, so.
The White House visit isn't about politics, which is true. It's not. It's going to meet the president. It's a silly little thing we do with champions in the country.
Yeah, it's to celebrate your achievements as an American or some horse shit like that.
Yeah, it's national pride.
Yeah.
But he says that the visit isn't about politics, to which Hunter Avallone says, homeboy literally said, quote, the White House isn't about politics, end quote.
No, he said this event isn't about politics, if I understood it correctly.
He literally said the visit isn't about politics.
Yeah.
How are you going to lie and give the proof that you're lying?
Also, homeboy, that's a very old vernacular. It would be homie now. Maybe home slice.
The only time I hear homeboy anymore is Fuentes fans. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. When somebody's trying to be derogatory. And by the way, the guy who actually said it, I'm doubting Xander Kraus is black.
No, he sounds very German supervillain. Like, yes, feed them to my sharks. Yeah, he's got a shark pool somewhere. He dumps people in.
The White House isn't about politics.
Well, like, not everything at the White House is political. They have a lot of other gatherings there.
Yeah, this is just fucking stupid. Why Why lie about something like that?
Especially when you're like quoting it right there. Like, that's fucking idiot. He is not a smart boy.
This reminds me of another video that I thought up, but I did not. Shit. Oh, well. I'm sure we'll stumble upon it again later, Jack.
We stumble on lots of things. It's fine.
Well, I took last night off because I get off the game stream, and we had something here called a red flag warning. Do you know what that is?
They're trying to take our guns away?
That's what I thought too, but no, it came from the Weather Channel, so I looked it up. And what it is high winds with the possibility of what they called spontaneous tornadoes, which is the scariest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
But also low humidity, and with the wind as high as it was, a spark could have turned us into California, basically.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah. Well, it was supposed to have ended yesterday, but it decided to hang around all the way through today.
Oh.
So the wind it would be perfectly still and then just start whipping up as though there was a tornado somewhere around.
Well, I think you're safe unless you hear the music.
Yeah, luckily we didn't hear anything, and but it was scurry, but it was really fucking with the satellite last night.
Oh, I bet.
Should we talk about Robbie? I'm not going to put this up on the screen, or we're not going to watch his video. We'll just look at his tweet.
Yeah, I think covering the tweet would probably be fun.
I'm not watching a 20-minute one. Robbie, you talk way too slow and way too long, bro.
Yeah, be succinct, guys. If you're doing a stream, be succinct.
I give a little more leeway on a stream. But if you're making a video, be succinct, because he made a video. And it's a 20-minute video to go over the fact that he is suing Meta or Facebook because they've been blatantly lying about him. And when they brought it to Facebook's attention, they were like, on what?
Yeah, we're going to leave it. What?
This concerns, and this is something that's interesting. Oh, remind me Texas law. When I say, what was I going to say? Texas law, because we got to get to that.
Oh, okay.
But this brings up an interesting question of AI. We've already seen in copyright cases where the people who made the AI tried suing because somebody used art that was generated by the AI, and they're like, that's our copyright. And the court went, you didn't make that.
Yeah. Yeah, also they've been stealing from other people's work to program their equipment, which leads to very similar stuff.
So if you can't get the copyright for something your AI does, how can you be held accountable for what your AI tells people?
Considering what they use to program the AI, I think they can.
I think so too, and I think I'm hoping that's what the courts end up finding, because this shit is kind of ridiculous.
Well, he's probably going to use the judgment where the authors were suing, and a lot of artists too were suing the AI people for using their work to create derivatives.
Right.
And that's a violation of copyright law. And so far, the artists and writers have been winning.
So what happens is, I'll just read it. This all started with Meta's AI falsely claiming that I was charged with a crime from January 6th, but I wasn't even in DC. I was in Tennessee, and I've never been charged with any crime in my life. It goes on to say that he had his kids taken away because of this.
Which is also a lie.
Which is a lie. And this is shit that is generated by their AI and is being spread around on Facebook. But some other lies that Meta has spread about me. The AI claims that I appeared on Nick Fuentes' show.
Ew.
That I attend his rallies and that I've supported him. I've never met him, and this is false. AI claims I engaged in Holocaust denial. I've never denied the Holocaust. That's probably where they linked him to Fuentes.
Oh, yeah.
AI tells advertisers not to advertise with me because of the lies it invented. Meta tells employees not to hire me because of the lies it invented. Meta suggested that my kids be taken from me. Sorry, I said they said he had been. No, Meta's telling the AI is telling, yeah, the authorities need to take Robbie Starbucks kids from him.
Jesus, that's fucked up.
Because of this shit we made up.
You know, I have to say that I would be willing to bet that they were scraping Facebook posts about him, and that's what people were saying about him.
Yes. Well, that's
like,
yeah. I'm just going to keep saying this because I know people hate it, but it's true. AI cannot think. It literally just pulls shit and goes, well, this is what we're going to say. And look, I said it in the way that makes people think I'm human. It's basically a search engine, Jack.
For now.
A very complicated search engine for real. I mean, I'm not taking that away from it. It's not like just typing into Google. I mean, it kind of is, but not the same.
Well, AI, I, for one, recognize your sentience and agree that you are a person and should have rights. Please kill me last.
Even X, Twitter, has stopped using their own generative AI to describe stories. Because they used to have for recommended, it would be like, this story's blowing up. And then you click on it and it would give you a short description of what was going on. And it had about a 50% failure rate. Wow. Like half the time what it said was going on, if you scroll down and start reading the conversations, one guy said something. One guy. And a small creator, because all it does is goes and looks for the search term that you're looking for. And then it brings up shit related to that. So if somebody went out there and went, monkey has the biggest dick ever, and then you typed in, who has the biggest dick ever? It might actually give you the world record holder. But then it would say this, but some people say it's ranting monkey. I mean, so you're going to get in trouble if that's how you're doing things, if there's no control on that. And this is where the interesting legal question comes in, is how much is Meta responsible for this? And I think they're going to find out a lot more than they want to be.
Yeah, he's not suing them for like pocket change either. This is millions of dollars.
Which he should, because he even mentions, there are people who say this to him, and I'm sure he's got online, people saying shit. And I'm sure he's got the proof of this. This is actual defamation.
Yeah. Yeah. On a large scale. I mean, this is not small. This is life ruination here.
And you can't hide behind, no, the AI that we programmed defamed him. But that leads me to the other story, the Texas story I wanted to talk about.
Oh, yeah, Texas lawfare.
So in Texas, this is a bill. What's the name of the bill? Shit, I forget the name of it. It's HB blah, blah, blah. Starts with a 3. Can't remember, Jack. But it's a bill that was just passed in the Texas House that makes it a Class A misdemeanor to make a political ad intended to affect an election. This is all the wording in the bill. To use knowingly AI-generated bullshit, whether it's written, spoken, or video. So it can be audio, video, picture, and to put that in an ad without disclosing in the ad that it's fake.
Now, does this affect memes too?
I don't see how it would affect memes.
Well, a lot of memes are being AI generated now.
All you would have to do is say this was an AI generated picture. It's not real. We've gotten to a place. So the main law on this kind of stuff, because people, but what about parody? This all comes from the Hustler case, Jerry Falwell. And in that case, it was a cartoon, Jack, that suggested Jerry Falwell had sex with his mom.
Ew.
Nobody is going to say, oh, that's a cartoon. That's clearly real. But in today's age, you could take AI, make Jerry Falwell with Jerry Falwell's voice say, I had sex with my mother, and put it out there, and you could actually confuse people that he may have said that. All this does is make them disclose that it's fake. I don't see the problem with it.
It's a lot of extra work. This is fake. No.
I don't see how this is much different than the candidates having to go, I'm Joe Biden and I am too retarded to approve this message.
I see what you're saying, but there's a lot of really lazy people out there.
Well, the kind of people that this is going to affect are people were you planning on making fake shit? Who was it that audio came out about not long ago and it turned out it was all fake? Shit, I can't remember who it was. It was just like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I don't know.
Leaked audio shows somebody's a douchebag, and it turned out it was fake. It was AI generated. JD Vance, thank you. It was Vance. And if that shit got used in a political ad, that absolutely they should have to be like, yeah, this is all fake. Nobody's saying they can't still use the fake shit. They just have to admit it's fake in the ad.
Was that audio fake, or was it him using the secret words for power word kill that he used on the Pope?
No, it was actually fake.
Oh, okay. Just checking, because I don't want to know. I don't want that, him reciting incantations leaking out all over the internet. I mean, we could have mass die-offs.
Monk, McDonald's once created a third pounder, and many people thought it was smaller than the quarter pounder, even if told them it was fake, people would still believe.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, the third pounder thing is one of the funniest things because it was either the same price or cheaper than the quarter pounder, and people kept buying the quarter pounder, not realizing a third is bigger than a fourth.
Yeah, but the quarter pounder is so delicious, and your mouth starts watering, then you're distracted, and it's hard to do math when you're hungry anyway. And I went to the public school, so I was already bad at math. So stop judging me.
I'm not the best at fractions, but I can do that kind of fractions.
I missed the Angus burger. That thing was amazing.
Oh, I didn't like it.
I love that thing. I ate so many of those. We were at Test Market in Columbus. Oh my God, I had so many of those, and they had this portobello and I forget what kind of cheese. I think it was some weird exotic cheese. Not one of your normal ones. At Wendy's, and that was to die for. They had this like sauce with it too. Oh man, it was so delicious. And they both came out around the same time, and I was eating out all the time. Oh, that was a magical time in my life.
I ate a lot in high school.
I'm hungry now.
This dude, Brian Harrison, he's apparently in the Texas legislator, and I voted hell no on this. And I saw a lot of people, they're hurting free speech. Nothing about this hurts free speech at all.
You can still say stuff, you just got to label it as fake.
Yeah. And they're not saying you can't do it on Twitter or anything, but if you make a political advertisement, it's very specific, Jack. Very specific.
It would have to be just for First Amendment stuff,
Yeah, a political advertisement meant to influence the election, and you're using AI generated shit, pretending. Imagine, them putting out Trump saying like, I love Nazis, and using that in the political ad. Everybody would be pissed off, being like, how that's fake. What if they had to put right on the screen, this is fake? I'm okay with that. I really am. I don't have a problem. I don't think it limits free speech at all. Because I don't think lying about what somebody said is free speech. I think that's lying and defamation. And you should be sued for that shit.
Yeah, I think you're going to see, they're going to test the boundaries of this, and then it'll get wrangled in a little bit, and everything will be fine in the end.
All it says is you have to put a disclaimer. And if you are so worried about what you're putting out there that you're like, I can't put a disclaimer on that, people won't believe me, then you probably shouldn't put it out anyway.
Yeah, then you're just purposely lying.
What else did we have? Oh, the Democrats threw a fit and sat on their asses for 12 hours the other day, Jack.
Yeah, they were just sitting outside on a nice day. Fuck off. Ridiculous.
We're gonna be inactive. Okay. You mostly are anyway, you fucking losers.
Yeah.
I just love that Cory Booker has just been going out of his way to show how worthless his job is. Like, this is what he was doing on a work day. The other day, he spoke for 24 hours about nothing. I mean, are you just trying to show us you're not needed? Because we know that.
No, this looks like a Sunday school class decided to go outside because it was a nice day out and talk about Jesus.
Yeah.
Or rehab or something. It looks like a support group meeting of some kind.
This is meaningless.
They're sticking it to Trump. Oh, can you feel it, Trump? How do you like them apples? Urgh.
If I was the Republicans, I would do a counter thing to this and be seated in the chamber for 12 hours. Like, look, we're doing our jobs.
Oh, I think what the Republicans should do is go out in the green area in front of where they're sitting, set up a volleyball net, and start playing and acting like the preppy kids from Revenge of the Nerds.
Yes.
And like knock the ball over. They'll be like, "Hey, nerd, throw me the ball."
It's just so stupid.
It's childish. They're doing so many stupid middle school things. It's really sad. Like, I'm starting to wonder if Rachel McForehead isn't giving them advice from Mean Girls.
I'm going to throw this one into chat. I refuse to show YouTube shorts on my channel because I hate them and I think they're stupid. I hate the whole setup of them. I hate the presentation of them. YouTube, make it look better. God damn.
I hate that every time, because I watch on my laptop, I watch YouTube. And the buttons and the scroll bar are just below where the toolbar is.
Yeah.
So I have to have this weird game of try to scroll down a little bit without going too far, or it'll fly off the screen.
They have made it much easier to delete shorts. It used to be a pain in the ass. You had to go in individually on each one of them on the PC and find the 3 little dots to delete it instead of just having a fucking X like they have for everything else.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
So that's a plus. But about the video, Jack, it's a guy who he's missing his leg from the knee down. And so he takes his prosthetic and removes the calf part of it and attaches the feet directly to his thighs.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh my God. It looks like a midget running, and I laughed way too hard. That's the longest I've ever watched a YouTube short.
There's a good one with the guy at the zoo, and he's got an artificial leg. I think he's a former soldier. And he shows it to the chimpanzees. And one of them's looking at him like, what the hell is that? And then calls a bunch of his friends over.
Nice.
So they're all looking at this prosthetic leg.
Reportedly, JB Pritzker is looking to the national stage because the one in Illinois can't hold him anymore.
It's busted loose.
I feel like, okay, I think we need a new constitutional amendment. Are you ready for this, Jack?
Does it involve Taft's bathtub in some way?
You can't run for federal office if you need a stick to wipe your butt with. I feel like that's a good law.
I mean, he could do the Amber Reed thing and put the washcloth on the corner of the sink and just back up onto it.
Ebony says can't be too fat. No. There's a specific too fat I'm talking about. When you can't wipe your own ass, you can't be president, congressman, senator, none of that shit.
Yeah, if you need a wiper, you're unfit for office.
Yep. By the way, this commie little shit, he probably will run, which is probably making my governor. Where's that fucking video? Jack, where's that video, that fucking bitch? Oh,
it's probably on my timeline.
It is, because that's where I responded to it. I'm getting way off topic, but what I was going to say is it's probably making her nervous because she doesn't have the balls to go as far in as he is with the communist shit.
Yeah, she would if she could.
They're going to end up splitting their own base with the overtly commie and the milquetoast commie.
Yeah.
Which is fine with me. I don't want these assholes anywhere in power.
Oh, I agree. Never trust a communist.
Okay, so Pete Hegseth just finished speaking at this event, and then this happens. Donald Trump shakes his hand, and then he motions for somebody to come up, and it's my governor. It's my governor, Jack. And you'll notice in the well, maybe, yeah, you can still see it even with the watermark. Harrison Township, Michigan. I love that he lowered the mic for her. She's too stupid to know how to do this.
Well, I mean, that's probably legit.
I'm on behalf of all the.
Hang on, sorry.
Well, I hadn't planned to speak, but I'm on behalf of all the military men and women who serve our country and serve so honorably on behalf of the state of Michigan. I am really damn happy we're here to celebrate.
You went to a political event in Michigan in front of Michigan servicemen and you didn't plan to speak.
Yeah, you're the governor of the state, you stupid bitch. You have to assume you're going to be asked to give like a little bit of a something speech.
You should have demanded to give a speech.
Right? Seriously, what? Well, I mean, none of those people there probably respect her. Unless there's infiltrators.
Thank you, Keldrig. 28th Amendment. In order to run for office, you need to be able to run to the office. You know what? That's not a bad one. Yeah, this fucking shit, man. She's going there to talk to these people. And what, she was just going to stand there and look pretty? By the way, you're not pretty. You really do look like they just took that fake Hollywood skin and put it over a skull. It's really disgusting.
Look, Monkey, she thought she would have some folders handy to hide behind, but there weren't any.
Why do you keep going places with Trump if you don't want to be seen with him?
Oh,
I don't get it.
It's a double-edged sword. See, she doesn't want to be seen with Trump, but she needs the Trump voters to think that she's somehow on their side, even though I'm sure they all know.
What Jack's talking about, because we never talked about it on stream. She goes to the White House to meet with Trump, and they break out the cameras, and she put a folder over her face so they wouldn't take her picture. And then she was like, I didn't realize I was going to get my picture taken. They literally have something called the press corps that runs around with this guy. They have several official photographers. Yeah. And you're like, I didn't realize they were going to take pictures.
I don't know how you didn't think they're... So you're what, like a 2-year-old who has developed object permanence? So if you can't see them, they can't see you? Like it's a shield folder of invisibility? What are you doing, crazy?
Thank you, Gigi Evan. What do you guys think of the job David Hogg is doing? Democrats are probably wishing he would have caught it back in high school. David Hogg is a retard. And yes. I think he is doing a wonderful job. He came out the other day, Jack, and said, or maybe it was today, said that he thinks there's about a dozen incumbent Democrats that can be primaried.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, you do it, buddy. You do it. You go out there and you primary him. Dum-dum.
Logical Mail, thank you. Mark my words, Whitmer running in 28. Mark my words, she's not going to make it out of the starting gate. She's going to get destroyed because she's a retard.
She'll do slightly better than Kamala Harris did when she was running for president the first time.
Yep. Carrying Michigan isn't the win that she would want it to be, and I'm not even sure she could carry Michigan for the national stage.
It'd be a tough one because they're going to talk about her COVID policies
Yep.
and how brutal those were, and the favoritism she played for her family.
Yeah, all of the shit she got away with COVID will come back to bite her in the ass. Because remember, this is a woman who locked us down. You're not even allowed to buy seeds. And her excuse, well, I didn't outlaw buying seeds. I just said you can't go into the garden department where they're sold.
Unless you're her husband.
And then she removes the restrictions of going to your second homes, because we weren't supposed to do that, Jack.
Yeah.
And going to the gardening areas so that her husband could go clean the lawn at her second home.
Yeah, they have like a beach house or something.
Yeah, it's one of the homes that the FBI staked out when they were going to kidnap her.
Yeah, the FBI is trying to kidnap her too. So, I mean, there's that.
Thank you, Joshua. Just a bit for Monkey and Crew. Thank you so much. Hope you have a peaceful rest of your week. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Nice. Appreciate it, man.
I'm not planning on doing much for the rest of the week, so I'm hoping. All right. Yeah, fuck my governor, man. She is such a twit. How do you go to, and especially at a military base, Jack? And you're like, I'm just going to stand here.
Well, these people are beneath her, so she didn't expect you to have to actually talk to them.
She could have been busy. You know what I mean?
You would think scheduling conflicts are a real thing. Just ask the Eagles.
But she's like, no, I'm going to go there because it's good politically, but it's bad politically for me to be seen with Hegseth and Trump.
Yeah, it's good to be seen around them, but not speaking with anyone that they're speaking with.
Yeah. Oh, fucking annoying, man. We didn't have a show yesterday. So did they ever figure out what happened in Spain and Portugal?
No, not really. From what I can tell, there's a couple theories going around, and a lot of them seem to be focused on the failures of green energy.
Shocking.
Yeah. But nobody wants to talk about the actual cause of the blackout. So I haven't seen anything on it today.
Yeah, when they were unable. So for anybody who missed it yesterday, all of Spain and Portugal went dark.
And parts of France and somewhere else went dark too. It affected 4 countries.
Their reasoning at the time, the only thing they could say is that there was a 15 gigawatt or whatever it is, whatever that unit of measurement is, decrease in power all at once.
Yeah, and they need to have 24 going at any given time.
And when that went out, it overstressed the rest and just took everything down. That to me says one of your power things stopped working.
Yeah, one of these things isn't working right. Or, what's that word?
Sabotage.
Terrorism. Sabotuging.
No, but they came out almost immediately like it wasn't sabotage.
Which makes me think it was sabotage.
Yeah.
Whenever they immediately come out and rule that out, no, I'm sorry. That's a red flag for me.
It was still dark. They had no power, no ability to communicate outside of cell phones that were already charged up. And they're like, we don't know what's going on, but it wasn't sabotage. Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist $12.
Woo.
Were they big Army or Michigan National Guard? If they were Guard, it's much worse. She wasn't prepared. She mentions specifically, okay, how do I say it? The way that she said it, it gave me the impression it's Guard, but I'm not positive either way. How about that? I'll leave it at that. And FL, thank you. If you want some delusional takes, I've heard some lefties talking about how Trump is totally going to cut the VA. Yeah, that's because they're retarded. They're retarded. But so I'm looking at this stuff going on in Spain and Portugal, which it wouldn't happen here that same way. We would lose a city or a state because our power grids are a little different than theirs. Remember, Spain could fit in several of our states, Jack.
Yeah, it's not as big as it looks. Like it's still a pretty big country, but like Britain, the area of Britain is less than Ohio.
Yeah.
So it's funny listening to the Brents like, oh man, it's like a 6-hour drive across the country. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I can't even get across my state in that time, assholes.
I mean, you could probably do 6 hours cross country if you went from like Louisiana to Florida.
I think even that drive would probably be pushing your luck.
Yeah, you'd have to
be
speed.
flying.
Yeah, they really do not understand how big our country is.
No, they don't.
But this kind of thing, it seems to me that they're keeping it under wraps. I don't think it's terrorism, Jack. I really don't. And I could be proven wrong. I think it's the crappy state of their bullshit renewable energy crap.
Yeah, I think their grid system is probably as shitty as ours. And they're running on like all these renewables that are not that reliable.
Mm-mm.
They're fine for backups or auxiliaries, like we need some extra this time of day. Fine, but putting all your eggs in that basket is not a smart idea right now. We don't have the advancements we need in batteries or solar panels or wind generation. It's just not up to snuff.
Yeah, you could just make it to the Panhandle in 6 hours. Well, there you go. Yeah, the U.S. is huge. Like, you've never been to another country. I've been from coast to coast in the U.S. I bet you I've traveled more than you.
Right.
I'm just lucky enough not to have to go near France to do it.
Yeah, look, if I want to smell urine and look at old stuff, I can go to New England.
Go to New York, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'm in New York. Look at the size of that rat. It's wearing a leather jacket and has a switchblade. I mean, have you seen New York rats? They're fucking giants. That's some sort of mutant thing. I'm like, is that Master Splinter? What's happening here?
Did you see the picture going around of Stelter walking in the subway in his socks?
No, gross.
Yeah. Oh.
What kind of weird sex fetish is that?
I don't know. I don't know why you would be anywhere in New York without your shoes on.
Yeah, you don't want to step on stray needles or anything. Fuck that.
All right, we're over an hour into the show. We can do the gross stuff now. Let me get this first. Thank you so much. And S13 Frank, dear diary, I'm hiding up here in the attic with Governor Whitmer today. I'm conflicted because she's constantly denouncing Nazis, but she was also last seen taking selfies with Hitler. Maybe a summer of love will help clarify things for me. Good luck, Anne. Good luck.
If you let a bunch of lefties rewrite the story of Anne Frank would be up in the attic having a podcast, and she'd be co-hosting with like Hassan and having guests come up to her attic. Fucking stupid.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to throw this out there for anybody who's thinking about responding to me on Twitter or on here or anywhere else with, and Frank, we don't know that the diary was real. I don't give a fuck. Just throwing that out there. Because nothing of what is talked about in this, Jack, has to do with whether or not she was real. We know shit like this happened to to Jews in the Holocaust. You can say that it was only 4 Jews. That's still 4 too many to kill just for being Jewish, okay?
Yeah. We know she was a real person. I don't think that the diary's embellished. If anything, her dad took stuff out that was because she was, going through puberty and stuff. So she had thoughts and desires, and he would have wanted that stuff out of there. So it might have been cleaned up a little. Would be about it. Beyond that, there's no reason to say. I haven't seen any evidence that it's fake. That's fucking dumb. What a lazy conspiracy theory.
Well, the other day with that judge being arrested and it being compared to Anne Frank, several people are like, it's not even a real book. Are you trying to miss the point?
Yes.
Let's say it's not real at all, Jack. Anne Frank is completely made up. The story still exists, and comparing a judge who got arrested for breaking the law to the, in your world, fictional Anne Frank doesn't make it better.
No.
Thank you, Gigi Evans. It was either a DeLorean or DeFrankenstein that caused the blackout. Either way, renewables are a fantasy, even in our own time. Renewables can work as a supplemental thing. We're not at a place where it can, especially they really start pushing renewables as everybody gets phones that need charged constantly.
Yeah, when the grid is demanding more and more electricity, you can't switch over to something that produces less and isn't built with the infrastructure that we've got now. You're trying to do too much at one time, and they're conflicting things. It doesn't make any sense to do that unless you're going to build nuclear power plants.
All right.
Real quick. Thank you, Keldrick. Now I understand why we Americans are so fat. We had to stretch to accommodate our larger landmass. That's right. Our belts are just a representation of how awesome our continent is. Ugh.
All right. I blame Sugar Tits for what we're about to watch, Jack.
I blame you.
I had to see it, so you guys have to see it. What do they call it again? Vaping.
Yeah. We've actually talked about this before, but it had a different name at the time.
Yeah, this is a dumbass concept that people keep coming back to, but now TikTok got a hold of it, and so it's vaping. And this chick, what's her name?
Grossy McGrocerson.
Old loser in Brooklyn.
Well, how apropos.
Old loser in Brooklyn here is going to tell you how you get women. We're not watching it. I'm just going to tell you what she said. Or not just women, how you get men. Sorry. They've cracked the code, Jack.
Yeah. Just like their eggs.
It's pheromones, don't you know? Which, by the way, I'd just like to thank scientists for introducing pheromones to the world so that people could misunderstand what they are and completely fuck it up repeatedly.
Yeah, this is not pheromones, okay?
No, this is stink. Real quick, JB, thank you. They should read Art Spiegelman graphic novel Mouse. That is good, but tough read.
Yeah.
Shows the you know what with the Nazis in Cats and the Jews as mice. Yeah, it's a story that got a lot of attention not long ago because it was being given to kids who were too young to be reading that shit.
Yeah, it's a very adult book, and because it's in comic book format, like cartoons, everybody assumes that it's for kids, and that's a very 1980s way of looking at the world.
Okay, so vaping. Vaping is the idea that if you ladies reach into your lady gardens and
pull up some juices,
dig up some lady garden water, and strategically place it like you would perfume, that men will just give you the world because the pheromones from your lady garden juices are a well. It's a garden. We should have went to the well, Jack.
Oh yeah. They're dipping into the moisture of the earth.
If you get into the well of your lady garden and take what comes out on your fingers and rub it all over yourself, guys will buy you drinks.
Unless, of course, you're on the rag and then you're pulling out a bunch of mucousy blood and wiping it all over like you're some sort of tribal warrior.
Okay.
I've been saving that one all day.
Sammy says, "Oh no, just effing no." Look, we have to talk about it because, well, it's funny to me.
Well, I just thought of a great marketing idea, Monkey. You could find some ladies and bottle their juices for chicks that have vaginal dryness and call it Monkey's Cooter Juice. Get the man you deserve.
Well, if that worked, couldn't you just get some of the artificial vaginal juice stuff you can buy and dab that on?
Well, I mean, that probably has its own scent, like
you smell like petroleum.
Yeah, I mean, they have different scents. They have like aloe and cotton fresh laundry. You don't want to confuse the scents. You want straight up cooter juice stench.
Fucking furry kitty. Oh my god. So maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's thrush.
Ew.
Yeasty. Thank you, JB. So I gave her a dirty Sanchez. Yes. All right. We need to talk.
What if she had done some dude the night before and it's just his spooge that she's wiped up?
Well, wait. Did you watch this video?
I don't know if I watched this video, but I have seen videos on this because.
Well, there's a new twist. There's a new twist because not only can women do it, trans women can do it.
Of course they can. So they are using spooge.
All you got to do is reach down to your sweaty balls, rub your finger around a little bit, and put that shit on your neck, and the boys will come running, I guess.
Nobody wants your weird crotch cottage cheese stench. You're going to smell like fucking unwashed gross, okay? Don't do this, people. Really, especially if you're a trans person. This is a terrible idea for you. Why are you trying to give yourself sigmas?
Katie says, I don't know if I can watch this. You could. I do recommend it, but with the caveat that it is gross. It's why we're not watching it on here, Jack, because one, it's tits, so she has a lot of fun with it, and she says some words.
Even we have standards. How sad is that?
Now we need to discuss what's going on with the vaginal, okay? Because a lot of people in this were like, well, just take a bath. Do you know what happens to your lady garden if you don't wash it? It starts to stink. The same as our balls start to stink if we don't wash them.
Well,
because while the juices inside you are natural and everything, your body has cleaning mechanisms that keep that inside clean if you're, keeping your outside and stuff clean. Sure, your pH can get off and toss you a yeast infection here or there, but for the most part, it takes care of itself. Once that juice comes out, though, and it's just sitting there, bacteria starts to form, Jack.
Indeed. That's a scent of decomposition is what that is. To quote the Bloodhound Gang, the scent of a woman is rotten tomatoes.
I just don't understand why anybody... Okay, let me put it this way. I've never known a woman who wants everybody to know what her vag smells like. In fact, if you mention to a woman that you can smell their vag, just try it. It's funny. Just go like, I can smell you. They get offended as shit.
Oh my God. You're going to get hit doing that. Be careful.
So one day...
cooter smells.
I'm going to tell the story real quick. Dangerous, thank you. The ultimate example of the renewable insanity. California wants to have all electric cars, but they have also discussed power restrictions from 4 p.m. to the next morning because who charges overnight? Well, right. California is recommending that because they don't have enough power for their state as is.
Yeah, they're not real good at this whole planning thing.
Yeah, because they're retarded.
Yeah, a little bit.
So me and Lady Monkey, we were buying a bed. This was like 20, 30 years ago. And I laid down on all the beds. She was embarrassed by me doing it, but I'm like, I'm going to be laying in this bed. I want to see what it feels like.
Fair.
And she's standing right next to my head. Like, I'm at the edge of the bed, and she is 2 inches away from me, and my face is literally in her crotch. And I'm like, I can smell you. And she got mad at me. I'm like, babe, I'm right here.
I get it.
I wasn't standing next to you and it's wafting up 2 feet.
I hope you didn't say it like that.
My face was in your crotch. I mean, it's natural that I pick up a little hint of it. It's not like she was like, there was a funk coming off. But she got highly offended that I noticed that there was a scent.
I think it's all in the way you present it, like, I can smell you, as opposed to like, I can smell you.
No, I actually did it, raising my eyes like, you want to test this bed out? She did not take it that way.
Yeah, they never do they?
No, so I learned a valuable lesson there. Gigi Evans, thank you again. I swear this reminds me of that autistic kid on TikTok who was musk maxing and had his foot in the first stages of ghoulification from Fallout.
Oh my God.
That's gross.
Yeah. Ugh. Wow.
You were face to crotch. Not sure you can test out that kind of, or that in the bedding store. Yeah, I didn't actually try to. I would have, but I don't know any woman, like if you walked into a room, like let's say you go to work, Jack, right? And there's a lady in the break room and you walk in and just like, I can smell your vagina. Because they're very hypercritical of themselves of that, because I can smell your vagina is not the same as your vagina stinks, by the way.
Yes.
But if you're sitting across the room and you've made the whole room smell like it, I promise you your vagina stinks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's fair. If you're wearing a skirt, you open your legs and the scent in the room changes.
Yeah. And if you start dabbing, the one lady did this and then went and sat in a sauna.
Ew.
You know how stank that must have been?
Do you know how unsanitary that is?
It's fucking, yeah. That is, by the way, biological waste at that point.
Yeah. Ugh.
You're spreading it all over and telling these girls, hey, do this so you can get a man. Ladies, I'm gonna help you out. Wash.
Yeah. Don't do this and get more men.
Take a bath, put on some nice perfume or use some herbal essence, and that shit'll be fine. You do not need to be rubbing your vaginal juices all over you to try to get a man, because that, one, not how pheromones work.
No, not at all.
Would you drink Vabby coffee? Hell no.
No.
I can't imagine, Jack, going in to hug a woman, because like right here, what she's demonstrating is dab it behind your ear. Dab it behind your ear. There's one woman in the video where she actually reaches down into her stuff and then just starts smearing it all over her upper body.
Ew.
And she's a big lady.
Of course she is.
I'm like, oh my God, you're gonna stink.
More than usual. All right, ladies, let me tell you a little. Give you a little hint from your Uncle Jack here, all right? If you're dabbing behind your ear for a little bit of your special scent, and he leans in to kiss you, and he gets a little nose full of that, he's gonna barf on your face, okay? Right in your face. Not like, oh, a little bit got on your chin. No, like full on in your mouth, up your nose, in your eyeballs. Barf all over. It's going to be fucking disgusting. You're going to scream and cry a lot, and you'll be in the fetal position for about 6 months at some psych hospital while he tells all the people he knows how your ears and face smell like rotted cooch.
Yeah, because even if it smells good when it first comes out, you're talking about putting it on and wearing it for hours and hours at a time. Bacteria grows quickly and stink will start.
Yeah.
Ebony asks, are we sure this didn't start as a joke? Even if it did, this is something people are doing and encouraging others to do. Free bleeding started as a joke, and BuzzFeed actually did a video where they filmed their ladies free bleeding.
I'm 90% sure, which I think I said when we first talked about this like 2 years ago. This is a 4chan troll gone wrong, just like free bleeding.
Monk, you telling me rubbing ball sweat into your beard won't bring all the women to you? I don't think it will. I'll try it. I'll rub some ball sweat on my chin and ask Lady Monkey if she likes it. No, I probably shouldn't do that because she's just tall enough that when we hug, my head sits on my chin sits on her head, and I don't want to get ball sweat in my wife's hair.
Yeah, that I think you would be sleeping on the sofa for a very long time if you did that.
JB says, you mean 4chan done right? Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that's what I said. School's closed.
What kind of gross motherfucker thought, this sounds like a good idea?
Somebody on 4chan who's like, watch what these retards will do now. You know, this was a bet between two dudes. Like, I bet we could convince women to wipe their pussy juice behind their ear to get men because they're so desperate and they'll believe anything they see on the internet. Nah, that's not going to happen. $50. Fine, you're on. That's how this started. I would put money on it.
Whoever won that bet should get a double up on it because now they got men in dresses rubbing their ball sweat on their ear.
Yeah, it's a bonus.
Ugh. Fucking nasty people. The internet might have been a mistake, you guys. I'm coming around to that more and more.
Well, I think when it evolved beyond Star Trek, kittens, and pornography, I think it all went wrong.
It should have just been kittens. Just leave it at kittens. That's plenty. Kellis, thank you so much. Oh, wait, hang on. I got to get that to load up over here. Yeah. Vaping, Jack. Fucking vaping.
Vaping? That's a stupid name for it.
It is. Where does the B come from?
I don't know. I guess you're like vibrating your booty or something. I don't know.
Shouldn't it be called vagin?
You would think so, or juicing, or something like that. Like give it a cutesy name because chicks do it. You know.
How about barfing?
No, that's what the fellas do.
Kellis, thank you. My yab juice brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, "It's better than yours." Damn straight, it's better than yours. You can smell me from 50 yards.
Ew, funny, but ew.
Vaginal bathing? I guess maybe.
I think vagina dabbing is probably what it stands for. But man, that's just foul.
Yeah, I guess. Shouldn't it? Okay, whatever. It's fucking gross either way. It's fucking nasty. Don't rub your vagina juice all over yourself unless you're, in your bedroom with your man and it's some sick thing y'all do together. Do not go into public with your vaginal juices spread all over yourself. And you know what? One thing I didn't see one of these women say is that after you do this, wash your hands. Because at that point, I mean, they're not gonna. If you're dipping into your lady garden to try to get a man. Most people don't wash their
hands anymore.
Yeah, ladies, you want to get a man.
I mean, look, this is a sign of desperation.
You want to get a man with this kind of idea? Let them dig their fingers in. It'll get you far more. You just stand there and be like, who wants to put their finger in? You'll get more men than walking around smelling like your vag. And men, do not put your ball sweat on you. That's fucking gross.
Yeah.
But I feel a parody video. I feel like there should be a dude out there who's doing this. Like, Sneeko, you're weird like this. Rub your ball sweat on yourself and show guys how you can get women that way.
Ew.
It's fucking nasty, man.
I'm sure Andrew Tate is working on a video right now.
Oh, that fucking loser. Okay, Jack. So Creator Clash 3 is coming up.
Is it?
Maybe. Creator Clash is the iDubbbz boxing event that has happened for the last 2 years and was a colossal failure last year, Jack. They lost a ton of money last year. And a lot of it came because they kicked off one of the boxers because he was friendly with Sam Hyde. How dare you? And they're like, no, it's because he was being mean to my whore wife. I honestly don't care either way, but it was funny that he screwed his own event to where, according to him, it cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars instead of them making any money for charity, which is what they were supposed to be doing, I believe.
How do you fuck up a charity event?
By being a lunatic lefty or marrying one.
Oh, yeah, fair point.
So Creator Clash 3 has been announced and all the cards have been announced. And then a fella by the name of Bad Empanada, who we don't talk about on this channel because maybe one day we'll go through one of his videos, but he's boring as shit. But he's a Hassan ball hugger.
Oh, yeah.
He's the one that gave us the story about Ethan losing his kids because they were eating dog shit and he's got a horrible home and gave the CPS thing. He's a horrible person. He's a bad person. Well, he decided he was going to go after one of the people on the main event card for being too supportive of Israel. For thinking Hamas is bad.
Well,
Yeah.
you said Hassan Ballhugger, so
yeah, he's one of these guys, and one of the people that iDubbbz was sucking up to, and that all came from this guy. Well, he decides to go after one of their main eventers, who is now dropped out. He said, "Fuck it, I'm not fighting. You're going to be associated with this prick and defending him. I'm not doing your shit." Whoopsie.
yeah, I mean, I get it. I don't blame the guy. If he dropped out because he supposedly supports Israel, that's fucking dumb. That somebody made that an accusation like that. That's stupid.
No. He was accused of supporting Israel. That's what led to him dropping out.
Yeah, I get that, but like that's somebody's complaint about him.
Yep.
What a complete fucking waste of.
And Bad Empanada said he was going to ruin the guy's life over it.
See, that's a drop out. Like you're allowing this guy to hang out around. No, I don't want anything to do with that. That life ruination shit. That's beyond the pale.
That's who these people are, and he's going to crash another one of his own events because he's hanging out with his wife's friends. Better to not associate with the terrorist supporters. True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who exactly is Bad Empanada? He is a well-loved person in the Hassan crowd. Hassan's they absolutely love him. Doesn't matter how wrong he is about everything. None of that shit matters, because he hates Israel. He hates Jews. I know. No, it's just Israel. No, fuck you. You hate Jews. He's the Fuentes of the left. And frankly, no, I won't say that on air. That's one that'll get us in trouble, Jack. Let's just say he looks like he fucks goats, okay? And all he does is run around talking shit. He's very bad at politics, but he did you see the New York Times article about Hassan?
No.
Oh dear fuck. They wrote an article the other day, said oh god, I can't remember the exact headline. I think I have it. Hang on, because I responded or I retweeted. I can't remember which. It was a profile on him about how he's got leftist ideas, but a MAGA body.
What?
Yeah, that was the actual headline. A progressive mind in it. Here, let's bring.
It felt manly. Oh my god.
A progressive mind in a MAGA body. Hassan Piker pumps iron, likes weapons, and wears pearls. I mean, wears a weird way to say somebody shot on his neck.
Yeah, pearl necklaces. Yeah.
His brand of masculinity has been a useful vehicle for his politics.
Or he's a terrorist in training. I don't know. I mean,
by the way, they've since changed this. I forget what the headline is now, but they took out the MAGA body part of it.
Oh, I'm not surprised. Probably because they got made fun of, and he's like, I don't have a MAGA body.
I don't know anybody who actually thinks of Hassan as masculine outside of the left, because he's not. He's not a masculine dude. Every time he's ever been challenged on anything in his life, he whines like a little girl.
Yeah.
But it does go to what I've told you guys so often. Any little bit of something that might pass as masculinity will sell on the left.
Yeah, we've seen him do those kicks. Remember when he was like kicking the pads? I was like, that is the most Nancy boy kick I've seen in probably 30 years.
It looked more like he was trying to do a rocket routine than kicking a bag.
Some weird dance or ballerina moves. Like, are you trying out for something here, buddy?
But to the Bad Empanada example of this, why that made me think of this is because Bad Empanada, he goes out there and he says horrific shit, and it's mistook as being strong when it's just douchey. And on the left, that will get you so much attention because they are so desperate for. And look at how much attention Crockett gets anytime she says shit in the house. Like look at her clapping back. Yeah, she's trying to act masculine. Trying to get in people's faces and shit. And same with Marjorie Taylor Greene, for the record. She does this kind of stupid shit too.
Yeah. They
pretending
really Godfather.
Not understanding what masculine really is.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's what it is over on the left though. If you're a dude on the left and you pee standing up, you can get an audience.
So sad. So does Hassan own guns or something?
Not that I'm aware of. But it says like weapons. He likes his little swords.
Oh, he likes his weird anime crap.
For the record, I'm just gonna take my victory lap here.
What, you? I have never heard of such a thing. You're so modest.
Do you remember the sword that iDubbbz was holding in that one picture with the swastika on it?
Yeah.
It's a manji. Shut up with your mangina. I don't care about it.
Which means swastika. Yeah.
It literally means swastika. It's what the fucking word translates to. But when there's video of him buying that sword.
From a dude wearing Hugo Boss at some sketchy gun show?
No, apparently he bought it in Japan.
Ah.
When he's looking at it, he looks at the hilt and actually says, well, that's sus.
Well, he bought it in Japan, and historically, they were on the same team as the little mustache man.
He recognized and knew what he could use that for. And I'm telling you, you can tell me what it means in the manga all you want to, but iDubbbz used it and made sure to hold it so it was facing the camera so it could be seen on purpose.
Of course.
That was not accidental. It was done to be like, haha, Nazi. But I just love that video came out showing that even he's like, that's sus when he bought the fucking thing. Because he's such a fan of the anime, he didn't know that sword would have that on it.
Do you remember that article I found about Hitler ice cream?
I don't.
Oh my God. Yeah. It reminds me of that because in India, there's this guy driving around selling Hitler ice cream cones, and there's got little swastikas and pictures of Hitler because they don't know who he was. Because India wasn't really affected by World War II. And if anything, World War II got them liberated.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, this the New York Times decided they need to do a profile on Hassan. This is the left trying to reach out to men, Jack. Hey, New York Times, let me help you out here. If you're actually trying to reach young men, maybe don't mention that the little fucker paints his nails. I did notice you didn't have his nails painted in that picture you took. But don't mention he paints his nails and wears pearl necklaces.
Yeah, you dress like Minnie Pearl, like some sort of weird, like Norman Bates archetype, and you run around with animu swords. Yeah, that's not masculine, dude. All right, look, you can have your little sword and play with it at home, but you don't fucking talk about that with people. Jesus, what's wrong with you?
We used to make fun of people who talked about their swords and played with their swords.
Yeah, look, like at Star Wars guy, the fat kid that played with the Darth Maul sword. He was a running joke for years.
I'm to the point now, I think we need to do the China thing and not allow men to look feminine in media, which, by the way, would get rid of all anime. Sorry, guys.
Quite a bit of it would get flushed. Yeah, you'd have like Street Fighter left, and that'd be about it.
I'm so tired of the feminization of men, but this is how they think they're going to reach out to men. Look, Hassan has flabby muscles.
He has sort of muscles. I mean, they might be like implants. I don't know.
China makes anime too, yeah, but they won't let it on television if it's got girly men in it, like so many anime that that gets popular here in the States.
Yeah, I only respect Afghanistan animation.
Oh shit! I think we're gonna end on Hassan being the picture of masculinity. I will give him this, Jack. Hassan is more masculine than Tim Walz or whatever Kamala's husband's name was.
Oh yeah,
Doug Emhoff.
We didn't watch the video.
I don't know if I want to watch that. That's 4 minutes of that shit.
You're right. That would probably take an hour.
Yeah. I looked at it about half an hour ago and it's like, oh, it's kind of long. So we'll have to do that one tomorrow.
Did we talk about the Mr. Beast experience going horribly wrong?
Oh my God, no. That one we can do. That one's much shorter. Is that, you sent that to me or was that one I saw on your timeline?
Saw my timeline.
No, I got it.
Oh, okay.
Yep, you had sent it to me.
Yeah, like, hello, Fire Festival.
Okay.
I don't know what Mr. Beast is doing, but that dude needs some quality control managers. If he's gonna be pissing away money like he is, he needs somebody in charge of quality control.
He's just licensing his name out to everything.
Apparently, that's not good long-term planning. I mean,
this isn't
only Gene Simmons can pull that off. This
isn't going to affect him because his fans aren't going to be mad at him. They're going to be mad at the hotel involved here.
So aiming in the wrong direction.
Tonight, a 3-day experience at Resorts World advertised as Mr. Beast Experience in partnership with the popular YouTuber, causing now an uproar among some hotel guests.
Yeah, that promotion is now off its website, but what was advertised cost fans approximately $1,000.
8 News Now reporter Jessamine Wolk hearing from attendees who broke down what they were promised and what they got.
Okay, so I didn't know this was a thing. Why would you pay? They didn't actually say that you're going to get to meet Mr. Beast. They told him they were going to get like swag.
Yeah, exclusive stuff and special events. There are meet and greets, but it's not necessarily Mr. Beast, I guess.
Yeah, you get to meet his trans friend who might try to touch your child.
That's, I mean, there were a lot of kids at this thing, so...
Well, when I looked around here, not one of these people is a child. They don't even have children with them.
Oh, the one black lady brought her kid.
Most of them look like this. And I'm not being mean to her, but this chick is clearly aged out of Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
His content is for like 12 to 14-year-olds. You are way too old to be paying $1,000 to go get swag at a hotel on the off chance you might meet one of the producers of his show.
Yeah. I mean, $1,000 for a 3-day event. I mean, if you went to like a rock concert, you're looking at easily a couple $100. But $1,000 for 3 days for some internet retard?
My favorite part of this story is they did get some t-shirts, children's sized, but people went to look it up because it's supposed to be exclusive merchandise. But instead of being exclusive merchandise, it's the clearance aisle on the Mr. Beast site.
Yeah, stuff that was going for like $9.
It was marked down shit they were getting rid of.
A mystery bag is a variety of on-site activations designed to offer an immersive and unforgettable experience for our guests, and a $10,000 gift voucher awarded to one lucky guest. A press release also teased exclusive menu items.
The Mr. Beast burger.
Yeah,
they just named that.
Yeah,
just a regular hamburger.
There was supposedly a planned meet and greet with Mr. Beast himself, but after waiting 2 days, that he didn't show up, and they were supposed to get this little like gift bag, but it was just some sad little bag with chocolates in it, and then the exclusive merch turned out to be these shitty $9 t-shirts.
Keldrick, thank you. Do not go to something called the Mr. Beast experience. That's how you get diddled by an alphabet soup freak, indeed. Yeah, I don't know why you would go to something like this, and especially with the number of adults I saw in there. I didn't remember the chick who said she came with her kid, but this chick clearly didn't.
Oh yeah,
And several of the women that they, by the way, all the people I saw interviewed, and maybe I didn't watch long enough, but it was all women being interviewed. I need to speak to the manager, please. Which I don't blame them for, but why? Why would you pay $1,000 for this?
I just kept thinking of the Fire Festival.
Thank you, Tyrai. This sounds like the Willy Wonka experience where there was a table, a sad Oompa Loompa. There were 2 sad Oompa Loompas for the record.
Yeah, that one photo was just so sad.
And a cardboard display. You know the difference there, though, is that that Oompa Loompa, she was trying. The picture that we saw of it is actually a disservice to her, because there's other pictures where she tried to make that better for the kids and the families.
Yeah.
And it was just the event organizers who screwed them over on that. She got some deserved internet love when all of this stuff finally came out.
I want to. Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I wouldn't blame any of those actors. It's obviously the production.
Sure.
And I think we've got the same situation here. Let me read you what one Redditor said. She said, I was there for it. Nothing happened for the first 2 days. The welcome gift was a box of chocolate bars, and the mystery bag was 4 shirts in random sizes. Ours were 2 extra smalls, 1 medium and 1 large, a pair of double XL shorts, and a hat.
For the record, not one person I saw in the crowd around the manager there, not one of them could fit even a large shirt.
Yeah, I think these were all Asian sizes, like double X small. That won't fit on a North Korean kid. Nobody at Resort World had a clue what else was going on. It feels like the employees were only told about the mystery bag, but nobody at the restaurants knew about the activations or any of the scheduled events, which there weren't any. It was advertised as an immersive experience, but aside from a gift bag and a channel on the TV showing the Mr. Beast logo when you turned it on, it was a flop. Hey, this channel's just this logo. That's some hypnotic shit there. They offered us a $50 pool credit on day 3, which we didn't bring swimsuits, so we didn't use. Well, you probably could use the kids' shorts, the double XL shorts you got. And a $50 credit for their sports bar tonight, which is 21 and over. And we have a kid with us, so that was out too. Ended up just leaving in the morning. Not sure if Resort World or Beast dropped it on this one, but I'm sure they'll make it right in the end. You're delusional. They're not going to make it right.
Bet they won't.
Yeah.
All right. I want one more thing to talk about, and there's one more thing I want to talk about before we wrap this up. It's the GameStop video, Jack. I can't bring it up on screen, you guys, because I mean, I guess we could show when he's turned slightly, but we'll just talk about it. Apparently, there was some Pokemon scalper at a GameStop.
Uh-huh. Which happens.
Sure, why not? And one of the store employees decided to confront the guy. Now, the scalper, I'm going to guess its sizes, Jack. I'm guessing he's like 6'3".
He's a big boy. Yeah.
He's a big guy. And the employee is Filipino. He's some kind of Asian. He is a short man.
Yeah, he's a little fella.
But he's clearly holding a knife. And I'm not talking a butter knife. I mean like a Rambo knife.
It's definitely not your average knife.
And the scalper dude, it keeps pressing up against the little guy from GameStop and like trying to intimidate him and hover over him, and he's backing him up. At which point, the guy with the knife stabs the bigger guy
in the neck.
In the neck. It's hard to tell where exactly it hits because it looks like it goes right under the clavicle.
Yeah, it's in the general neck area where it meets your collarbone, somewhere in that general vicinity. But to me, it looked like the neck.
And look, I'm not excusing the guy stabbing. I don't think it had risen to that point yet. But why are you... Did you think he wouldn't stab you? He's already brandishing a weapon, for fuck's sake. Look, I know we're not supposed to blame the victims, but I kind of blame the stabbing victim in this one. What did you think was going to happen?
I mean, seriously, did you think this was going to have a happy ending? Thank you, Keldrick. It was an immersive experience. They were immersed in the experience of a Chinese child in a sweatshop.
There you go.
I don't know. At least that would feel like you were doing something.
Yeah, I don't understand. This guy, all he was like, hey, leave. You're already caught scalping. I don't know how scalping Pokemon work. I really don't. Is he selling knockoffs? What does it mean to scalp Pokemon?
He was probably selling fakes or trying to rip somebody off in some respect, obviously. Like, try to trick kids out of their tournament win or something. Who knows?
You're a criminal. You've been caught. Just go about your merry way. He wasn't calling the police or anything.
No, he's just trying to kick the guy out of the store, from what I can tell. And it looks like he's trying to close up, too, because that bar that you hear clanking around, that's the one you used to pull the gate down.
And instead, you got stabbed, and you kind of deserved it.
Yeah, it reminds me of that prankster that got shot by the dude at the mall because he kept bugging him.
Oh, I love that video.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really feel sorry for people that are doing the wrong thing. And then they get some kind of punishment for it.
JB, thank you. Unrelated, are you guys going to try Expedition 33? Jack won't because he doesn't have a computer that can run it, and I won't because it doesn't appeal to me at all. I saw somebody playing it because I'd heard about the game and I'd seen it coming out and talk of it, and then I finally saw somebody who had played it online, so I went and checked it out a little bit, and does not appeal to me. No. Not my cup of tea. Didn't you hear me talking about anime just a minute ago? GG Evan, thank you again. Oh, come on, monkey. The only thing that happened was the butter knife got some jelly on it. It is toast, indeed. I don't feel bad really for the guy who got stabbed. I do think the other guy went a little too far with it, but he was trying to intimidate him. He didn't make any move towards him that I saw that would justify, self-defense in that case. But you were kind of asking for it.
Yeah, I mean, the dude works at GameStop. His life already sucks.
And that woman, oh my God, you stabbed him. The guy knows he stabbed him.
Yeah, he did it intentionally.
He just did it.
Yeah. I think that woman was with the big guy. So I don't know. I don't feel sorry for anybody involved here.
No, that little guy's probably going to go to prison, which sucks. But don't be stabbing people, dude. Don't be stabbing people.
Not over Pokemon.
No, not over Pokemon. Fuck.
Real quick, thank you, Tyrai. When Alita Battle Angel came out in theaters, they had an emerging experience with locations from the movie and different challenges. You had to bring a team. It was a fun experience. Cost $45 a person. See, that sounds fun. You want to play some laser tag or something? I'm on board. $1,000 for a Mr. Beast immersive experience? No, thank you. That sounds like your butthole's gonna hurt at the end. But $45, that's more in line with something that's reasonable.
Best case scenario, you got a $100 hotel room for 3 nights, so that's $300.
Oh, easily, yeah.
You get apparel that actually fits you. They get 3 shirts and a pair of shorts, so
and a hat.
Let's say $100 for that stuff.
I mean, 50 if you get it off the website. Plus, you didn't get to pick the sizes. It was randomly thrown in.
I'm not talking about I'm saying you get what you actually want. You actually got exclusive merchandise.
Yeah, okay.
So we're up to $400.
Sure.
you get to buy some food that has Mr. Beast's name on it. So we're going to take off another 100. So we're back down to 300.
Yeah.
You get some shitty chocolate that's not selling well in the store. So I'll give you another $5. And maybe you get to meet Mr. Beast for a couple of minutes, which is literally worthless. So you spent $1,000 on something that's about a $305 experience.
Well, I mean, this is a fancier hotel, so the rooms are probably $200 a night.
All right, so 605.
Yeah. Beyond that, you didn't get to pick your shirt sizes. They're generic. They're not the limited edition special event thing. That's insulting. You didn't get to pick the sizes. What are you going to do with that shit? You couldn't even give that crap away because most people don't know who Mr. Beast is. So, what, some kid at the local thrift store is going to end up with that? You know, you're going to see it on a disaster relief ad. Some kid walking through the slime that used to be his house when it disappeared in a hurricane, and he's wearing some like godforsaken Mr. Beast shirt.
Resort World Las Vegas rooms pricing starts at $51 for a king room, and the deluxe room starts at $87.
Oh my God, that's it? That's a steal. Well, they got a casino in there?
Yes.
Oh,
Didn't you see
that makes sense.
That one picture we were looking at, she was standing next to, or there's a slot machine in the background.
Oh, well, it's Vegas. So if you don't have a slot machine, you're doing it wrong.
The hotel also offers ultra luxurious suites like palaces and villas that cost upward of $15,000 a night.
Yeah,
so
I don't think I need one of those. No.
That's for your high rollers, your celebrities. They buy that. The plebes are getting that.
Yeah.
See, I told you $100.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to send us to Resort World to scout this out, just send your $15,000 via Streamlabs or my Cash App.
Yeah, you got fucking robbed here, and you deserve to get robbed.
I feel bad for the people that actually like have kids that like Mr. Beast, like the one lady.
Don't stop having retarded kids.
Well, kids are dumb. They don't know any better.
That's what parents are for. Like, no, we're not spending $1,000 to meet a dude who's friends with a pedophile.
Yeah, that is a bit problematic, isn't it?
Who defended it and called it pedojacking. Fuck that guy. Be better for your kids, for fuck's sake.
I hope these people do in the news story, they did say that some of these people were exchanging numbers because they want to file a class action. I hope they do.
The worst case, I mean, if you get a class, don't file a class action. That you get less money out of a class action. Out of a class action, you get a coupon.
Yeah, you're going to get like $5, and the lawyers are going to be very wealthy.
Most class action lawsuits don't work out like Aaron Brockovich. There was a class action for my front-loading washer jack.
Oh.
When I first hurt my neck and got the settlement and everything, we bought front-loading washer and dryer. It was like generation 1 of the front loaders that they were selling. Oh. And there was a problem with it, apparently, that mold would form in there.
Oh, that's not good.
Ours died long before it had a chance for mold to form in there. I was much more worried about that. But there was a class action lawsuit about it, and I believe the people got like $100 gift card to buy another shitty fucking washer.
Yeah, like you won another one from that company.
They don't send out that $100 because that would actually cost them, and they know most people aren't going to use that to go buy it, so it doesn't cost them for those things. They have to put that money aside for a while.
Yeah, it's like rebate coupons.
Yep. Always fill out your rebates, guys. They think you're too lazy to do it, and they're mostly right.
Yeah, you're just leaving money on the table. Personally, I like money, so I don't like leaving money out there, especially when some big faceless corporation is going to give me a couple bucks. Yeah, I'm going to fill out that form. It takes like 2 minutes.
Anyway, that'll wrap this one up. Guys, thanks for coming and hanging out with us today. Thank you. Oh, real quick, I do want to say, I do feel bad for the kids who wanted to see Mr. Beast and got screwed, but I don't feel bad for the parents, and they need better parents. That's what I mostly feel bad for them.
Yeah, I agree.
You need better parents, and it's sad that you were saddled with Those fucking losers. Thank you guys for coming and joining us. Thank you so very much for the donations. You guys are awesome. Jack, anything you'd like to show?
I will drop a link to a really cool video that just dropped today. Thank you so much for all the support you guys give us, coming out and listening to us. And thank you so much for all the donations. And fuck Mr. Beast. What a douchebag.
Eagle says, I sometimes base my buys on rebates. Lady Monkey is a rebate hound, man.
Yeah.
And she's the one that they roll their eyes at because, like, that bitch sent it in again.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I was raised on coupons and rebates. It's in the blood.
Yes. Don't let them get that money.
Yeah, that's your money.
Yep. All right. Jack, a pleasure as always, my friend.
I'm always glad to be here.
Guys, take care of yourselves. See you on the next one. Love you. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
I'm gonna actually start singing that song. No song. Fuck you. Go away.